Hello everyone and welcome to this video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Luna and welcome to Luna's bookshelf. So in today's video I thought it would be fun to go over some books I want to read before the year ends. We're more leaning towards the new year 2025 and yeah, it's going fast and there are some books I really want to get to before the year ends and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So let's get into it. So I've got 5 books I want to read before the year ends. I obviously will probably read a lot more books. I hope I will read a couple more books. But these 5 I really want to get to before the year ends. So I hope I will. And we're going to go through them very quickly. Not very quickly, but you know what I mean. So the first book I want to read is a book you've probably seen here already on this channel. It's a book I've talked about. It's been on the TBR. But I've never gotten to read it. It's a historical fiction. It's one of the authors I really love reading. I really love one of her books. I reread it this year. I listened to the audiobook of it. And the book I'm talking about is Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've been wanting to read this book for a very long time. I got it this year in 2024 as when I received a gift card. So I was like, this is my time to read it, and I still haven't read it yet, and my birthday was in May, so yeah. But I thought, you know what, maybe now is a good time to read it. It's like historical fiction because it's in the 20s. No, wait. It's in 1994. It takes place. So yeah. So this book is about, I don't know much about it, but I do know a little bit. So you know what, I'm going to just read the back. Carrie Soto is fierce, and her determination to win at any cost has not made her popular. But by the time she retires from tennis, she is the best player in the world has ever seen. She has shattered every record and claimed 20 Grand Slam titles. And if you ask Carrie, she is entitled to everyone. She sacrificed nearly everything to become the best, with her father, Javier, as her coach, a former champion himself. Javier has trained her since the age of 2. But 6 years after her retirement, Carrie finds herself sitting in the stands of the 1994 US Open, watching her record be taken from her by a brutal, stunning player named Nikki Chan. At 37 years old, Carrie makes a monumental decision to come out of retirement and be coached by her father for one last year in an attempt to reclaim her record. And if the sports media say they never liked the bell aches anyway, even if her body doesn't move as fast as it used to, and even if it means swallowing her pride to train with a man she once almost opened her heart to, Bo Huntley. Like her, he has something to prove before he gives up the game forever. In spite of it all, Carrie Soto is back for one epic final season. In this riveting and unforgettable novel, Taylor Jenkins Reid tells her most vulnerable, emotional story yet. So yeah, it sounds very exciting. So Carrie Soto is going out of retirement to take back her title, so I'm very interested. I think there's also a little bit of a romance in it. Goodreads is classified as a historical fiction because it takes place in 1994, so that's explains. So yeah, literary historical fiction, so very excited. Then the next book is a book, one of the author I loved. I've read only 2 books by her, but still love her. It's a book, I do think it's a young adult, but I'm not quite sure anymore. I should look it up. Phone's here. You know what, I'm going to look it up first so I can tell you that I know for sure. But I do think it's one of her young adult novels. I've never read an adult novel by her, so if this is an adult novel by her, it will be something new. Okay. Alright, so this is a young adult. So it's a young adult romance novel. I could have seen it at the back actually because her other books that are young adult are on here, I think. So the book is Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I read Better Than the Movies and Nothing Like the Movies by her, and I really love those books. Better Than the Movies is one of my favorite books in all time. So yeah, I've not heard a lot about this book. I actually don't know what this book is about. It is a young adult, so it's about Oma, and she is moving after her parents' divorce. She's moving to Omaha after her parents' divorce, and the female main character is called Bailey. so a lot of going on, and it's something with secrets. I know, I'm not going to read the back by every book, you can also look it up a little bit. But yeah, very excited. I always love Lynn Painter, her covers, they're so cute with all the people on it. So yeah, I did hear a little bit, I did hear good things about it, but I also heard a little bit less good things about it. So I'm very excited to read it, and I hope I will get to read it soon. I mean, I like Lynn Painter writing, it reads very easily, so I have exams coming up, so this will probably be a book I will read when I have exams, so I can have something to look forward to after an exam, and I don't have like a heavy fantasy book I have to read, you know? So yeah, very excited. Then another romance book, but it's like a paranormal romance, is a book also by an author I read this year for the first time. It's Ashley Boston. I first read The 7 Year Slip by her this summer, and I really love that book. It's so good. I really like her writing style and the world she creates for us. Like, it is like realism, but it's also like magical realism, and I really love that, and I discovered that I really love that genre. I wasn't a book buying man, but I went book shopping with one of my book friends I met on Instagram. And I was like, you know what, we're going to do a cheat day. For this once, I get to buy 1 or 2 books. So I bought 1 book at an independent bookstore, so that's also very good. And the book I got by Ashley Boston is The Dead Romantics. I heard so many great things about this book. Also, one of my favorite authors I see now has a blurb on the front, and that is Allie Hazelwood. She says, I love this book, funny, breathtaking, hopeful. So yeah, I'm very excited. So I don't actually know what this book is about. I most of the time don't know. So it's about Florence, and she's a ghostwriter, and she has a problem. Her novels. So she writes novels, but she doesn't believe in love anymore, and she's supposed to write cute romance novels. So yeah, a little bit difficult. And then she has an editor, and he's very strict, and he doesn't want to give her an extension for a book deadline. So she is like, you know what, this is probably the end of my career. But yeah. And when she's going home, she sees a ghost at the front door. So yeah, very interesting. It's also like not that quite of a thick book, and I really love that. But yeah, I think this is also one of the books I will read probably more towards December, when my exams are coming up. I have exams in January, but I will probably read like these 2 books more at that time, because those are like romance books, and I really get through those books more quickly than like maybe a literary fiction, historical fiction. So yeah. So that are it for the physical books I have. Then there are 2 more books I want to talk about, but I don't have the physical copy of, but I have them on my Kobo, and I obviously want to read them. So yeah, the first book I want to talk about is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This is a very popular book. I think everyone knows it, or maybe has read it, but I haven't. And it's a book I really want to get to. It's a thriller book, and there's like now a series of it. There's like multiple books in it. I don't know much about it. The only thing is that I know it's about a housemaid, and it's probably like something going on, like maybe a murder, but I don't know much about it. But I really want to read it. I think it's not that thick of a book either, and I really like reading on my Kobo, and I will probably read it like very fast. So yeah, I thought it would be a little fun book. Maybe not fun, but you know what I mean. A nice book to read in between other genres. So yeah, I hope to get to that book this year too. And then, last but not least, the last book is a fantasy book, and it's also a book that has been really going popular this year. And I've seen it at a lot of places, and a lot of people I follow reading it, and I was really intrigued. And that book is Phantasma. I forgot the author's name. I'm going to tell you real quick. It is an adult fantasy. I'm going looking it up on Goodreads. So, Kaylee Smith. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It's also part of the series The Wicked Games, but this is the first book, and the second book is coming out in April 2025, so that's perfect. So I really want to read it. I heard a lot of good things about it. It also has a very high rating on Goodreads. Emmy Reeds has read it and Sarah Caroli, and they like made me curious and interested in the book. It is also kind of a dark fantasy, I think, if I know correctly, but I also don't know a lot of what it's about. But says here on Goodreads, Caraval meets Throne of the Fallen in the spicy dark romantasy where a necromancer needs help from a dangerous phantom to win a deadly competition, only to find their partnership puts her at risk of breaking the game's most virtual rule: don't fall in love. So it's like Game and Trials. I really love Caraval. I read that this year, so if it's on here and it's like a little bit like that, I will probably love it. So yeah, that is the last book I want to read. So we got 5 books. This and then the 2 other books I hopefully will get to read this year. Let me know in the comments which book you really want to read before the year ends, and also leave down a ghost emoji if you comment that. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this little short video and enjoy the rest of the week. Bye!